there's only one race. There's only one race. I don't care what color you are. There's only one race. Hear me clearly. There's only one race, the human race. But there are different ethnic groups, different ethnicities. This is what God did. This is what the Most High did. The Most High changed people and scattered them all over the planet. There are about 52 different types of people that live in the motherland, what we now call Africa. Sometimes I call it Eden, because that's where the garden was in the east part. And the oldest bones, Louis Leakey, you've studied that whole anthropology. He found the oldest bones there in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda area. But this area with the Nile River that flows north downhill. That's why when I talk about the motherland, I turn it upside down with the south to the top, because the river does not run up a hill, it runs down the hill. The only reason we have the maps like they are today is because when Alexander the Great, Alexander II, the Greek man, and Aristotle, when they conquered Kemet and renamed it Egypt and turned the map upside down, they put Europe on top of the world. They put the Greeks on top of the world. That's what they did. So, but back to the original thing about the concept of the pyramids. Apparently they had invented something that would allow them to go inside of the king's chamber and turn the thing on, and it would vibrate, and the person's spirit would go somewhere to a heavenly dimension or another dimension, and then their body would stay there and they would come back to their bodies. And God said in chapter 11 in Genesis, if we allow them to do this, nothing will be restrained from them that they can imagine to do. So let's confound their language. So in the motherland, you have all different types of ethnic groups. And they are different, not because of the water they drink, or the sun that shines on them, or the food that they eat. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. In Kenya, how many people here are from Kenya? I know I got some Kenyans here, yes. In Kenya, you have the Kikuyu nation or tribe. And then you also have the Maasai nation or tribe, is that correct? The Kikuyu and the Maasai. The Maasai in general are short people. The Kikuyu are short people. The Maasai are tall people. The Kikuyu are short people with kind of tight curly hair. The Kikuyu are short. Maasai are real tall, right? Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. So with the Kikuyu and the Maasai living in the same area, the same sun shines on both groups. They drink the same water. They eat the same sheep, same cattle. They eat the same vegetables. If you ask, as I have, some people from Kikuyu right there at Mount Kilimanjaro at the foot, how long has your nation, the tribe, been here? Say forever. You ask the Maasai, who live right across the river, how long has your nation, the tribe, been here? They say forever. So if you start thinking about evolution, what kind of evolution would make one people over here shorter with tighter curly hair? I think probably the tallest Kikuyu might be 5'8", 5'9", 6 feet tall. Maasai, some of them 6'9", 7 feet tall. What made the difference? Well, that's what Genesis 11 talks about, the making of ethnic groups and the changing of the languages. So stop and think about that. Then all across the motherland, you have the same kind of differences between all the people. And you ask yourself, well, what type of food or water is so different, made the people different? So that kicks the anthropological evolutionary thing right in the head. Kicks it right in the head. So basically, if you look at the same thing in Europe, you've got Europeans that have blonde hair and blue eyes, live in Scandinavia. Now, right down the road from them are people that live in other parts of Europe that have brown eyes and brown hair. You're going down to Spain, people got black hair, black eyes. You got Irish people living right across the little 30, 40 mile bay there. they have red hair and red eyes. Now you mean to tell me that this is an evolutionary process and all these people eat the same food, drink the same water? No, but the Most High did at the design change. He changed the people. So Genesis chapter 11, although it's a symbolic, allegorical story, it's telling you something that you really got to look at and understand. It will help you if you look at it in that way. Look at the quote-unquote Asian people, the Chinese. The Chinese, slanted eyes, shorter, curly hair. The Koreans have a different look. The Japanese have a different look. So this is important. I'm talking in terms of the history of the black church. You got to understand that everybody comes from the Garden of Eden, so everybody's an Edenite. That's my point. The people on the planet, we don't have a name for everybody. So I would submit to them that we should talk about being an Edenite. Also, I would also like to talk about the people that started the Abrahamic religions, and you talk about Ishmael, his firstborn, and you talk about him settling in what is now Saudi Arabia. You have the Hebrew Israelites who were in Canaan's land. Then you had people that were who came out of those two groups, spread out across the continent. Now, it's important to note, Yosef Ben Jochanan writes a book, and if you have the syllabus, which was supposed to be here to be passed out to everybody, Yosef Ben Jochanan has a book entitled The African Origins of the Three Major Western Religions. And I'll try to make sure you get that syllabus after I leave here. But the Hebrew Israelites comes out of the whole Kimite Egyptian type. They would play, this is called a shofar. They would play a sound like this. They give 3 blasts before they actually started their religious services on a shofar. This is a ram's horn. And the first people on the enslaved ships, the kidnapped ships, were those Hebrew Israelite folks, sold by some of our cousins, the Berbers, the Ishmaelites, who now we might call them Arabs. And also, you have, then the Europeans came, and the Europeans began to split people up and make people war with each other. The Portuguese, the Spanish. They drug us over here to the Americas. And as we got to the Americas, we were mixed with the black Indians. People talk about the word America. They say Amerigo Vespucci. Well, his name wasn't Amerigo. His name was Abedigo. Abedigo Vespucci. He was an Italian explorer. And Abedigo ran into a group of black Indians called the Amariscas. And they lived in a place that the Spanish called Nicaragua. Nica meaning black, agua meaning water. The black